there, Commercial Construction Coffee Talk fans. Thanks for chiming in. My name's David Corse, and I'm your host. I'm also the publisher and editor of Commercial Construction and Renovation magazine. Oh, I got a little glare on there. Hey, this is what it used to look like when we printed it, but now we're 100% digital. You can still get them printed, but most of the time you get it. Just got to find them on the web. Got some of my covers we've done over. I got Mr. JLL. I got Chris from Mammoth. Got the chicken guy over the other shoulder. Tim Holton. I'll tell you, it's unbelievable how quickly this year's gone. But got a couple issues left, and going to look forward to 2023. But it's been very exciting. Had another 2.5 million, 2.6. I forget what the number was. I hit the website last month. Our new website's up, so people are looking at stuff, and moving a website over when you have 50,000 pages of content and pictures and everything else, and then you gotta there's always a little things with the migration. It's an amazing thing. It's a journey. It's like it's going across the pond in a dinghy, from the east coast of London or over to Europe. It's a slow process, and then you're hoping everything just is intact. And then as you go through things, it's like your punch list. You do a construction project, you got little things that you got to fix that you weren't expecting, and other things that you thought were going to break didn't break. They made it through, and but it's finally up there, and it's been very exciting, and we hope you all like it out there. So I hope everybody's having a great week. It's Hump Day. Just had Election Day yesterday. I was up till 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, waiting for them to see if they were ever going to get off 97% and count the votes. I don't know what the problem is. What's their weight? Okay, they have them, count them. Let's put the winner out there. Okay, win or lose, I just want to find out. And congratulations to both sides who won. And because it looked like there were a lot of really close races out there. It was a nail biter, for some of them. And look, I'm easy going. I'm kind of right down the middle. I like things on both sides. So so congratulations to everybody who won. To all the people who didn't win, and hey, you can always do it again. And if you want to go through the meat grinder again, be my guest. It's not my cup of tea and what it looks like. So, but I got my Georgia shirt on. I think we're number one. We beat Tennessee last weekend, just crushed them. And of course, Alabama lost. And congratulations to LSU. They go into overtime. Bama scores the touchdown. Then they get their touchdown and they go for 2 points. And the new coach who came from Notre Dame, he rolled the dice. He got it done. And what a scene that was down in Baton Rouge, seeing all the students and the fans climbing onto the field, and it was just an amazing thing. So hopefully we'll run the table, and we'll end up in the SEC championship. Probably either see LSU if they win all their games, they'll be who we're playing. And but there's still some really good teams that are out there. And all in all, listen. It all comes down to a couple plays. That's what sports is. You win some, you lose some, you go back, you watch the tape, you learn. So anyway, but I hope you all voted out there, because if you didn't vote, you can't complain. All right? You can't complain. You got to go out and vote. So anyway, I'm glad it's all over. I'll just do it on January. I forget what the date is, but I'll just do it again in about a month. And may the best man win. Finally. And hopefully they'll be able to count it in 24 hours. So with that said, got a nice gentleman in the heartland, St. Louis, the Arch, all that good stuff. Been there, seen it, done it. And his name is Luke Schulte, and he's the Executive Director of Business Development for Handyman Connection.
Yes.
Connection.
Handyman Connection.
Thank you. I was saying, I'm thinking construction. Sorry, I'm asleep. And anyway, he's a franchisee, and they're in growth mode. And over the last couple of years, there's been so much maintenance and everything done in residential. And listen, you all have homes that are out there in commercial construction. Now you live someplace. So with everybody doing stuff, this has been a serious growth mode. Their publicists reached out to me and they said, hey, we'd like to have we have a good story to tell. So Luke, say hello to our listeners out there at Commercial Construction Coffee Talk.
Yeah, so excited to be here. Nice to see you.
Well, absolutely. Listen, it's hump day, so it's still sunny here. It's a little chilly today, so I got my sweatshirt on. It was 80 degrees yesterday, and then boom, this morning I woke up. It was cold. I was like, okay, which one am I going to break out?
Yep.
So
Yep. I'm
anyway,
with you.
so this is the way it works. You're we do in three parts here on Commercial Construction Coffee Talk. You're gonna tell us your story, where you grew up, where you went to school, brothers, sisters, got any, kids, dogs, cats, all that stuff, and then how you ended up where you are today. Then we'll talk about the last 30 months or so, lessons learned, or any new services that you guys came out with, and then we'll finish up with your one positive thought or phrase and your contact info. So, with that said, the floor is yours. Tell us your story.
Yeah, absolutely. So Luke Schulte, like you mentioned here, I feel like I'm, doing my normal punch list with everybody. But I am born and raised in St. Louis. In St. Louis, the most important question that you ever get asked, if you know anyone from St. Louis, is they'll ask you where you went to high school. I don't know what it is, but St. Louis will absolutely judge you based off of where that school is that you went to. So if we have any local St. Louis people, it was SLU High. St. Louis University High is where I went to school, but played soccer, ran cross country, got into bike racing later on in my life. Have one sister, went to college kind of did the tour of Highway 70, as I say. Started out in Kansas City and worked my way back home, but went to the Kansas City Art Institute and then finished up at the University of Missouri with an art degree. So I'm qualified to say, would you like that in a tall grande or a venti cup? That's where my qualifications.
I see it. Listen, I see the guitars back there, so I know you jam, right?
Well, I like to build them as much as I like to play them. So I'm a reformed punk rock kid, so I know 3 chords, and I can do a little more than that. But it's the building them, it's the whole process of having them too. It's sort of like collecting cars. Guitars are a lot cheaper. Yeah, no, born and raised, like I said, here. After college, went to Chicago, got involved in franchising, and that was with the commercial cleaning franchise. Worked my way through the franchising ranks with different home service brands, and got to Handyman Connection here, where we asked the most important question of what else. And that was really the big draw for me. Because with all these other franchises that I've been a part of in the past, we did one thing and we did one thing very well. And what was always disheartening is you'd earn the trust of a customer, and then they'd say, oh, do you know anybody that can do this? And you say, nope, sorry, we only clean windows, or nope, sorry, we only clean, commercial spaces. So what I loved about what we're doing here is we can get in there and we can find that honeydew list, and we can say yes or no to a lot of different things. So through my career in franchising, that's was the big draw for me here at Handyman Connection, and we're really excited about what the future has to hold.
Listen, facility maintenance on the commercial side, it used to be, okay, I just do HVAC, I just do plumbing,
Right.
I just do flooring. Now everybody does everything because they want to be turnkey. They just want to be a one source thing, even though if they might, shop it out with another subcontractor, et cetera. But that's the name of the game. Even like project management firms, yeah, I do it all, and they might shop it out, but you want to keep your clients, and if they come to you, you want to do that business. So
say yes first and figure it out later.
No, I can do that. I can do that. Yeah, sure,
absolutely.
Yeah, I can do that. So it's one of those things, and but I would imagine, over the last couple of years, you've been very busy. Am I right?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the last couple of years have been awesome. I know a lot of people in the world would say it was a really difficult time, but we were one of the lucky ones that got to wade the storm and really see some success that we grew through it. And what happened is, one, the more time my wife spent at the house, the longer that honeydew list got. That crack in the drywall that never bothered them before now is driving her crazy. Little odds and ends projects around the house became important because where people were maybe looking to build up and move on to bigger and better houses, now they were kind of tightening up the ship, and because they were going to stay at home for a few years. So our business really blossomed. And it was just because there were more opportunities. People were spending less time out on the road. and more time at home. And so that created a new world for us, where, you know, the baby boomers are getting too old to do the work for themselves. The people like myself, there wasn't enough time in the day, and the millennials, everybody likes to give them a hard rap, but the reality is their parents did so well that they never had to fix their own bikes, so they don't know the business end of a hammer. And so a business like ours just thrived because all these projects, all these things that ended up on that honeydew list, you just created more opportunities for us. So what we found is if we shrunk, not in terms of the business, but in terms of the jobs that we were chasing, then that would be a wonderful opportunity for us. You know, smaller revenue jobs meant faster turns, quicker tickets, and, you know, just some great opportunities came of that.
Yeah, you know, my wife, she's an interior designer, kind of contractor, and you know, she would before she started her business, you know, she would get things, and she'd find a guy, a plumber, an electrician, and this and that. I had plenty of people that, you know, in my database, and then little by little, you know, she started her company, but she had met these people, you know, whether it was at a Starbucks or in a parking lot, saw the truck, hey, you can give me your card, and now she's got her crew, you know, that and like just like you over the last, you know, 2.5 years, just cranking on kitchens. She just got another job last night. I mean, she's just been busy, you know, this whole year. And you know, just I told her, I said, you know, you should take a break, you know, as far as you know, maybe over the next month or two, just to recharge your battery, because you've just been going a million miles a minute. But it's just been an amazing ride. And my son lives in Charleston. She wants to, you know, I've been here since '92, so. And she's like, oh, we should move over there. I'm like, yeah, but you know what? You have your business is just kicking tail right now. Why would you want to leave? You'd have to start over and find a whole new set of subs, and they're just so hard to find. You treat yours really well. You buy them food, you pay them on time, and they love you. And you know, and she's not hard to look at anyway. You know, not and so you know. But I was like, why would you want to move? You got everything rolling here, and so it. But you're right. People are at home. We're thinking about, okay, it's time to do the basement. Okay, it's time to get the windows redone. It's time to get the you know, the trims done. It's time to get the floors redone. I can go down the list of all the things that you know, people were looking to get done. And the same thing happened on the commercial side as well. I mean, if you were a hotelier and you were you know, shut down, they were doing stuff. They were you know, painting carpet, putting in new FF&E, and getting the stuff ready. So when the country reopened, you know, they were ready to go with a, you know, kind of a fresh look. At least the smart ones did. And
yeah,
you know,
that was the time to do it, when they're not busy.
yeah, well, normally they would like shut down a floor or whatever. But now, when the hotel was just shut down, they, you know, it was time to, and the news never reported on any of that stuff. But that stuff was going on. At least the smart ones were doing it.
Oh yeah,
With restaurants and everybody else, it's just trying to, and you know, and if you were an essential business, you had to rock and roll and kind of get your PP plexiglass up, and you know, your cleaning stations or whatever it might be, and then if your construction, you know, how you going to run your sites. But your story is just like many people. You know, over the last 2 years, I talked to so many different, you know, end users, architects, vendors. I mean, all athletes. Everybody's just been busy. You know, the biggest thing is finding labor right now.
Yeah.
You know, or if you need a permit, or you know, estimating. I mean, that's what's. I have contractors and I say I don't even want to take any more business, because I don't even know if I can deliver on it, because I don't even know if I have the manpower to do it. And I just had a franchisee reach out. I had a contractor reach out to me the other day, introduced me to a franchisee, and said, Dave, we don't want to take this business on. Can you help this person out? And so I threw him a couple of contractors, a couple of project management firms, made the introduction on email, and you know, and I let him take it from there. You know, but he was like, hey, you know, where can I find these people? I said, hey, listen, everybody is so busy that right now, if you're a contractor in retail, you're trying to get your stores done before Thanksgiving. You know, because Thanksgiving's, you know, shopping day, and then they make all your money through Christmas. So finding people right now, it's just, you know, it's like a needle in the haystack. But and these are, I don't know, it was like 1,500 square foot, you know, footprint in a reused location that just needed renovation. But you know, he needed help, and so I said, look, I got plenty of contractors, but here are the ones that I would use. If they can help you they'll get it done right the first time. They won't jar you, go for the juggler and on the cost, and they'll get it done right because and he had a pretty good growth plan, as far as expansion went. But just about everybody, like I said, they've all been busy, and they've learned that they can trust their employees to be, hybrid, whether coming into the office or working out of the house. And some of my clients, and they have probably some of their best years. And the biggest thing was, our company culture. What's going to happen to it? I'll tell you what's going to happen. There's going to be no gossip by the water heater on who won the election, or you're not going to have to go drive 2 hours to go look at a 10-minute gig on a project when you could do it on a FaceTime or on Zoom and be done with it. You can pick and choose where you're going to go, just like we are now. And technology, with AI and everything else that's coming on, it's been an amazing ride. And so many people have found so much about their business. Even myself. I mean, I was a print face-to-face guy. I mean, I was lucky. I had my 10th anniversary in January of 2020. First cocktail party down in Coconut Grove, Florida. And then I'm in Milwaukee looking at hotels for my retreats for the late fall, summer, early fall, and everything gets shut down.
Yeah.
But I was working out of the house. I had a digital magazine. I ignored it. I kind of treated it like a, second, the ugly dog in the pack.
Yeah.
And, but I had all this content. I didn't even know it, and then we made the decision to go digital, and that's a dicey proposition after 20 years of printing. And but I don't miss the post office. I don't miss the postage. I don't miss the printing. I don't miss having to worry about if the eggs are hot or people like the hotel that I chose. I don't miss the travel. I'm a million miler in Delta. Sorry, Delta. I gave you plenty of my money for all those miles and my nice bracelet that I got. But I miss seeing my buds. I do. So but all in all, it's been an amazing transformation. And now I'm a digital guy. It's been amazing. But I learned so much about my business. That was the one thing. And being flexible and be able to turn on a dime and, not be an aircraft carrier that takes forever for it to turn around. I was kind of like a destroyer man or a minesweeper man that, I had to, be limble, and so.
Well, and that's one of the things that we love about what we do here at Handyman Connection is so often, the term franchise and flexibility, those aren't two words that exist in the same sentence unless franchisors are not flexible. That's typically the way that those words would be aligned. But what we saw is that opportunity, like you said, to pivot. We were flexible, we were nimble. We didn't have that aircraft carrier like you mentioned. We looked at all those technology pieces. So just like you built with the magazine, we had built our business that way digitally. And, the terms I like to use is we Uberized and Amazonized what we do. That's an idea where let's meet the customer where they are. And whether it's doing virtual estimates, taking care of the digital marketing for our franchisees, building out that book of business, because really what we are is we're the connection between a craftsman and a customer. Mm-hmm. I don't want to go out there and do the work necessarily as the franchisee. What I want to do is I want to find great craftsmen, help them make more money than they're used to making, and provide the customer with an experience that they're used to from these digital platforms that sometimes they're not finding in the trades or in the home service space. So you hit the nail on the head. It's about adapting. It's about pivoting. It's about being nimble when you don't want to be nimble. When it's easy to sort of hunker down in the basement and throw a blanket over your head and act like the world's not changing. It's those who change, or those hotels that did those renovations. Those are the ones that are thriving now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So tell us the story of Handyman. I mean, it started out with one person, and tell us the story.
Yeah, it started out as a simple handyman business, old school, where everything was on paper.
Was it just one owner that started it, or?
So the current ownership now is someone that acquired the business. So Jeff Wall bought the business off of, through a series. We started in Blue Ash, Ohio, Cincinnati area. Mm-hmm. Built out to a decent size franchise where it was just kind of a small mom and pop type organization doing simple handyman jobs. One of the older handyman franchises that are out there. But like I said, since then we looked at where it was, where the markets were, started to expand across the country and continue to hone and develop our system and our technologies. But now we've fully modernized, to where a cell phone is going to be the biggest tool for the handymen or the craftsmen that are doing the work, as well as the customers as well. So estimates are written through cell phone, through a cell phone app. We can, customers can see how far away the craftsmen are. As we're walking around the house, that question that I said, what else? That you called us up to install a ceiling fan. While we're installing that ceiling fan, we're going to say, what else do you need around the house? And the beautiful thing is our app is going to track all these other punch list of things that they have on their wish list. And our systems are following up with those customers to make sure that every 30 days we're staying engaged with those customers to say, hey, when are you ready to put that wainscoting in? When do you want to do that bathroom remodel? When do you want to put the new treads or the new flooring in up the staircase? We're tracking all that stuff so that what we've done is we've tried to turn our business into a regular reoccurring model to where we're seeing those customers on a regular given basis. So, with some of the other trades, that are out there, you get your roof done and, knock on wood, that roof sticks around for 15 or 20 years, hopefully. But with our business, well, maybe not in the Midwest, but but we want to earn that customer's trust, and we want to see them every 2 to 3 months. There's different projects that are out there. You talked about the pandemic and changing. One of the other cool things are subscription services for some of the older customers that are out there. Hey, I'm going to give you 3 hours worth of labor every month. There's different things that our franchise is offering, all through that platform and that guise of, running through digital methods to book jobs, to stay out in front of customers, to stay relevant on Facebook and social media. That's all things that we're taking care of for our franchisees, so the franchisees can just make sure that they have the right inventory of craftsmen. And that's the biggest thing. There's more work out there than that we can handle. But it's just a matter of finding the right people and getting that work done. And, one of the things I think our craftsmen love about what we do is we're taking all that business, heavy lifting off of the table so they can just focus on getting the work done and doing the stuff that they love.
I always talk about, or, LinkedIn, I'll put up memes about skilled labor and this and that, and planting seeds when the kids are, do any of your craftsmen currently, do they do any stuff in the community to go out to the schools and say, hey man, have you ever thought about being a carpenter or a welder or HVAC tech or roofer, or just, do they do
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the favorite stories that I have is, I always tell candidates, when they're looking at our franchise, I say, you need to go find and make friends with the guy that's the wrestling coach at your local high school. You find that kid that's got a great work ethic, is not afraid to do something and not know what he's doing and figure it out. You go find the kid that's going, that's that wrestler that's maybe not, the typical college student, and let's offer them an opportunity to build and grow a business. And what I love with what we're doing here at Handyman Connection is we have an option for them. We can bring them in as a helper and have them work with the different tradespeople. And frankly, that's an opportunity. Yeah. And either they could come just be a straight up handyman, or maybe that's an opportunity for them to look at becoming an electrician or a plumber or different things like that. But we'll have those what we call helpers or subs that we can facilitate in and provide that extra set of hands for the contractors or the craftsmen that are working within our franchise system. So
that's awesome. I mean, I love hearing that. I mean, my son, he went to aviation tech school. He works for Boeing now.
Yeah.
But, I knew he was in college. He didn't want to do English or any of that stuff, but he did the welding, woodworking, avionics, all that stuff. Now he's a flight line, getting through, 787s ready for delivery, or if they need to get suites when they come in, $350 million planes his 23-year-old's working on.
That's awesome.
And he just got his AMP, license, and actually I'm going to put him on my podcast here in a couple of weeks, and he's going to tell a story about how hard I was when he was growing up. And because I was an ice hockey lacrosse player at University of Denver, so I know I-70 very well. I'd done the trip plenty of times. So, but I went out there to play sports. But I was an econ political science major. But the bottom line is my family was in construction too, so I had a construction background and manufacturing on my dad's side. My mom's side was in steel recycling, and so it's funny how I ended up in construction. I'm just building a magazine. I'm not demolishing a building full of asbestos on a 595 in Philly.
Sure.
I'm going to have him on and talk about, he always wanted to work with his hands. He didn't want to, I remember sitting down with the school. I said, look, you guys have a trade school. If there's one kid out of these 3,500 kids that go to this high school, this is the one that you need to put in the trade school. Okay.
Right.
Okay. You don't want to do any of this other stuff, and they just didn't listen to me. So we yanked him out of the school after his senior year. He did online learning and he went and worked in the garage, and he was a grunt. First thing he did was he was sweeping the floor, emptying the garbage cans, and he told me the other day, he's like, I would have never gotten hired if I would have never had any of those experiences, whether it was a waiter or working in the garage or, he helped my wife, being a PM for her, construction company. And so, he saw all these things, but, we were hard on him, but we knew that he wasn't college material. He wasn't going there to get a 4-year degree that,
well, they tell everybody they're college material now.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think, and frankly, for the people that are in the trades or in the construction services or home services space, man, this music to our ears, because if you can actually do something, like I mentioned, the millennials that are out there now, their parents did too well. When their bike broke, they bought them a new bike. They didn't know how to turn. They never turned a wrench. They never.
Well, I don't know how many times I, patched my tire or, did my chain or, what have you. I mean, he was, he was into flipping cars, flipping bikes when he was going through school and all this stuff. And I just look back and just laugh when I see it. But I saw his friends going to school, and I knew that. And I'm like, that they're going to get a piece of paper. And listen, I went to 4-year school. I was on the 5-year plan. I took a year off and I worked up on the mountain, because I got the pass and everything else. But the bottom line is, did I learn a lot? Yeah. But I mean, I really went there to play sports and because I wanted to play pro hockey. I didn't actually, I was a better lacrosse player than I was a hockey player, but anyway, I wanted to play for the NHL. So when I look back though, and I look at him, I didn't think I was worried that shoot, man, he's going to be flipping burgers, or whatever, and then now I look at him like, oh my God, we just went to family weekend a couple weekends ago at Boeing and the facility in Charleston and saw what he did. And I was so proud. And we were sitting we were sitting talking and, he said, hey, all those things you were hard on me. I'm really glad that you worked because I would have never gotten this job if I didn't have that, because he used to always say, oh, Dad, I know you've told me that a million times, or I heard that story. I heard you got up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I heard you burned steel. I heard you shoveled asbestos. I heard all that.
And then it clicks one day and they're like, oh.
But I always would tell them, hey, 20 years from now, you're going to look back and you're going to say, hey, man, I was right.
He may have been a little crazy, but he was right.
Yeah. And he's like Sergeant Carter, and, I'm like, and for those of you who are young, that was a TV show, Gomer Pyle, Sergeant Carter, so just to tell you who it was. So anyway, but it was a good feeling, to hear all that. But it's really more important that your company is taking that initiative to go out, because that's a really big thing with there are more jobs than there are people out there, and there are people that don't even want to work. I mean, that's what's even crazier. And but when he was trying to figure out what he was going to do, I said, listen, if you're going to be in a car tech, you got to have your own shop. And you want to be a motorcycle tech. And I said, hey, you're going to have to do it in a warm state where they ride all year long. Because here, I only do spring and in the fall. In the summer, it's too hot. In the winter, I just drive around my bike. And then we saw the aviation tech, and they said there were like 600,000, guys are like, been there 30 years. They're all going to retire. and
Yep.
planes, you just can't leave them. They got to be maintained on things. So, there was his calling. And but right now, there's just so many people that they're just not college material, and there was a commercial where I was watching for the Georgia Tennessee game where, where the kids, they have the signing day, and and they put the hat on. So this guy, they got the commercial going on. He picks his hat and he goes, "I'm going to trade school. I'm going to this school. That's where I'm going because I'm going to get paid and I'm going to learn my trade. And with that, I'm going to have my own business." I thought it was the best thing ever, and it was awesome to see that. And so hearing that your franchisees and the craftsmen, hey, bring some helpers in there, get them out there. That's the best, because if you don't plant the seed early enough, you're not going to get them all. But we only need X amount, and if it multiplies effects, we can actually get the labor that we're going to need down the road.
Well, and I think the other important thing is whenever you're bringing that person in and you're helping them, when they decide to move on and they don't want to work with you anymore, and they decide they're hanging their own shingle, or they're gonna do their own thing, have that foresight to say, man, is that a huge compliment to you and to what you've built? Don't take these things personally. You think about the opportunities that you're creating, and you're leaving the world a better place than it was when you got there.
I told him, I said, look, become a plumber, because everybody's got to use water. And he's like, "Oh, the plumber crack jokes." I'm like, "Don't worry about the jokes. When you're a millionaire and you're living in life, and you're not going to care about the jokes." Okay.
Right.
Everybody needs everybody needs heat and air conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs water. Everybody needs electricity. I can go down, everybody needs, you work with your hands, and you can build your own business. And, so tell me, how many locations do you have right now?
So right now in North America, Canada and the United States, we've got about 65 locations that are open and operational right now. We've got about 60 franchisees that represent those 65 locations.
Yeah. Are you looking to, grow the, plan to like a 5-year plan, or where you want?
Yeah, so here's the thing. We would love to get to the point to where we had 400 franchisees across the United States. And in some mindsets, we said, man, we'd love to sell 100 units next year. Have 100 different franchise locations that weren't open. But the reality is just like we want to build up those worker bees, from high school. We want to grow at a reasonable rate too. We need to be focused that our franchisees and our craftsmen that are coming to work with us, that they have the best tools, the best opportunities, and that means growing responsibly. So we're looking at, we want to probably add 20-25 franchise locations a year. We've got opportunities all over the United States. The only market that's, about blocked out right now is Nashville, Tennessee. But other than that, we're looking for franchisees in all these markets that, maybe come from a construction background, or maybe they just have understand what happens in the trades, and understands what happens with craftsmen, and want to help build a business based off of that. So, we'll let the experts do the expert work, let the carpenter be the carpenter, and let the electrician be the electrician. But let's look at the marketing. Let's look at the spend. Let's look at the profitability. And frankly, I love people that come to us with the mindset of a coach. We both have been in sports. Sometimes having a coach that says, "Hey, you did a great job with that customer, but did you ask the question, is there anything else you need? Or, what other things to do?" Sometimes it's just a matter of continuing to mentor people so that we can make sure that they're making more money for themselves. So, if they're doing that, then our franchisees are doing well, and everybody wins in that equation.
If they're, looking through the roller coaster over the last 30 months, I always ask, what was the most important lesson that you think you learned? Whether it was about yourself or your business, what would that be?
Don't be scared of technology. Technology is one thing that we need to be simple. We need to look at relationships. Relationships are the key thing, whether that's with customers or that's with the craftsmen that are doing the work. But we realized that there's a lot of opportunities for us to meet with customers and utilize the technologies of digital and virtual estimates. We can book a lot of jobs. We can use the routing and scheduling tools that we can do to maximize efficiencies. It was just an opportunity for us to kind of pause and look back at it. And the cool thing is with technology today, we just need this. We don't need laptops. We don't need tablets. One piece of technology that I just saw that we're vetting in a few of our locations is we can actually have the customer bring up their phone, and we can use it looks like a little laser pointer on their screen where they're showing us a picture of their drywall, and we can say, oh, look, here's a couple of spots that need to be fixed, and this is how we're going to fix that. But as you're tracing your finger on the picture of their wall or their whatever, it actually highlights where the fingers are. We can make measurements through those technologies, and there's some really cool stuff that's out there. It's just a matter of kind of vetting it and making sure that it's a good, reliable product before we would bring it to any of our franchisees. So there's a lot of innovation. There's a lot of testing that's going on, but not being afraid to kind of step into that world where our customers are. These are, most of the people that are saying yes or no to our services, the people making the decisions. David, it's not you or I, it's our wives.
Yeah.
To be blunt. So we know that our typical customer is a college educated, married or engaged female between the ages of 27 to 65. And if we know any of those people, they're well versed on how to find things online, how to do their research, how to do all that. And, they're educated consumers. And so just creating a template and a model that we can follow that caters to their needs, frankly, in a pretty fragmented space. There's a lot of our competitors that still are, just the guy in a pickup truck.
Mm-hmm.
And we're taking care. We love the guy in the pickup truck. Frankly, we want to be the guy that helps modernize that guy in a pickup truck to where now everybody's building larger businesses because, like you said, there's more work than we can handle. So we don't even, somebody says, who's your biggest competition? We don't have competition. There's so much work. I'm not worried about what the guy next to me is doing. There's plenty of work to go around. So it's just a matter of making sure that we're running efficiently as possible so that, those craftsmen and those franchise owners are seeing the returns that they want.
The best advertising, you're dealing with the female in the home. You do a good job. She probably knows a lot of her friends. They probably have the same issues. Word of mouth advertising is the best advertising you probably. I'm a marketing digital guy, so I'm just saying that.
Oh, well, so the number that I came up with, and this is just my uneducated, sort of fooling around on Facebook sort of number here. But back 20, 30 years ago, if somebody did a great job or did a horrible job, you told 15 or 20 people that you knew. Now you go onto social media, and at least all the people that I've been looking at, you put a post on there, 300 to 400 people at least are going to see that post. So pressure's on. You can't do a bad job now without the word getting spread.
Yeah, because in 2 seconds, boom.
But you do a good job, so you live and die by that sort of social media. So, be ready for it, embrace it. And I always laugh too, whenever you get your first bad review, I say, congratulations, now you're a real business.
Have any commercial guys come to you? Because if they can't find someone, have they reached out and say, hey man, can you come out and fix this freaking door or fix this window?
We'll be more than happy to go into the commercial and the residential space. Typically we will live more in the residential space because,
that's your bread and butter. Yeah.
It's a simpler sales program. But yeah, no, we would, like I said, we'll say yes to more things than no. We'll stay away from like HVAC and asbestos, and, maybe some roofing jobs just because why, we don't need them. But yeah, the answer is always yes, I say.
Yeah. Hey, listen, you never know where your next sale is going to go to.
Right.
And, listen, if you can do it, I remember one of my contractors one time, he said, big retailer. And he said, hey, we something happened with the front window or whatever, and I got this piece. And could you find someone to come out? And he's like, you know what? I'll just come out and do it myself. And he just did it. And so, so the construction manager, he called me. He's like, you didn't have to do that. And he goes, you know what? By the time I got someone there, I could have just gone out and I did it myself.
Right.
So, and I had a masonry guy last week, you know, 5th generation. His parents came up from Italy, and he was out of LA. But he said, yeah, the way I got my grandfather taught me. I was about 14, or I was, you know, always, you know, out there doing stuff. And first thing he said, build this mailbox. And he goes, and then he left. And he's like, you're not going to tell me how you, no, figure it out. Figure it out for yourself. That's how I figured it out. And then he came home and he goes, hey, good job. But you should have done it this way. But that, you know, that's how you learn. So, anyway. Well, if someone wanted to get in contact with you, how would they reach out to Handyman?
Sure, you can always go to handymanconnection.com. You know, that'll be a great place for our website. If you'd like to talk to me specifically about, you know, either what do we do as a franchise, or if you're looking for, you know, maybe to be a handyman with us, I'll be more than happy to share my personal email address. Yeah. It's just 𝐿Schulte@handymanconnection.com. We would love to talk with you. Search me out on, you know, I'm right there on Facebook and LinkedIn and all those other fun places too. But yeah, either go to our website or email me directly. I would love to have a conversation about what it is we do and how we can help.
If you're looking for, you know, if you're getting up there, you've been in your job for 25, 30 years and you're looking to do something else, you're in construction, why not have your own franchise? Or if your kid is thinking about stuff, you know, be a helper, call Luke up. You can explore all those different opportunities, and you know, it's good that you know, you have options out there. So give them a ring and just, hey, listen, you never know what might happen. So having a conversation is nothing wrong with it. If anybody wants to reach me, you can get me at davidc@ccr-mag.com. If you're not a subscriber, up on the toolbar, menu bar, hit subscribe. We'll get you added to our mailing list. Send out about 125,000 copies every month, and would love to have you. And I know you hate me saying this, but it's like playing the lottery. I think the lottery is over $2 billion. Maybe someone won it the other night. But anyway, if you don't buy a lottery ticket, you can't win. If you don't send me something, I can't find a place to post it. You know, I'm posting every day. It's very tough to get in the magazine, but you send me stuff. It could be charity, it could be personnel, be a cool new product. I look at everything and I come back to you. So, you know, send me something and, you know, we'll take a look at it. And if you haven't seen the new website, ccr-mag.com, go check it out. And love to get your feedback. And I've got thick skin, so you know, I take this criticism, you know, fairly. So anyway, so Luke, I want you to show us one of your cool guitars that you fixed back there. Come on, you got to pull one out.
Oh, I'll pull one out. Yeah, so here's one. Made that one. That's.
So you made that yourself?
Yeah, well, the neck, I'm not, like I said, I just got an art degree, so I'm not good enough to make the necks, but the bodies I'll form and then.
Pull it up, let's see it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So like the bodies will form, and then for whatever reason, I started tooling leather, like on a saddle. And that's what I make the pick guards out of. So yeah, that's how I'm putting my art degree to use now. So
so do you keep the guitars? Or do you sell them, or you put them on Facebook Marketplace? Or
I make them for my boys. I got 2 boys. I got a 6-year-old and an 11-year-old. So they've both got their guitars earmarked right now. And I got one for myself. So my wife has this rule that it's 1 in, 1 out. So I got to get rid of one if I want to bring another one in. So there's only so much real estate in the house.
Now my son, he's got the acoustics, he's got an electric. I think he's got a couple of acoustics, you know. I had my guitars over the years. Here, you know, I'll grab mine here real quick. Okay. This is mine right here. All this.
Yeah.
Got this done at a sign show. They were making them on the router, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta have that," you know.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting on the plane, and they're like, "Oh my god," you know, and I'm like, "Yeah, man, Elvis," you know. So anyway,
that's awesome. I want one like that. I want one like that, but I want real strings on it. So
yeah, you know, it's funny. I came home and I was like, "What are you gonna do with that?" I'm like, "Oh, babe, I'm gonna put this on the wall, man. You know, this is classic. It doesn't get much better." So anyway,
plenty of uses.
Yeah. So anyway, thoroughly enjoyed the conversation. You know, listen, you got everybody out there, commercial construction coffee talk land. You got Thanksgiving in a couple of weeks, and you got the holidays coming up, and then boom, closing 2022 out. See you later, 2023. Hopefully it's gonna be an amazing year. Always look at the, the glass half full, not half empty. It's partly sunny, not partly cloudy. And stay positive. So I'm taking a digital class right now, and I'm just finishing my boot camp after 12 weeks. And the biggest thing I learned is mindset is about everything. Don't surround yourself with negative people. Dump them. Not worth it. Stay positive, smile, have fun. You can't all work and no play makes Johnny a dull boy, in The Shining. So bottom line is you gotta have fun, recharge your battery, and hey, listen, become a handyman franchise. Who knows, So, well, Luke, say goodbye from St. Louis.
See you guys later.
And I'm going to say goodbye from the Beaufort Dam, Lake Lanier, just about 30 miles out of downtown Atlanta. And everybody, have a great rest of the week, and enjoy the next week. And, Old Man Winter is going to be coming here shortly. And I know the leaves were falling yesterday, and I know I got to do some leaf cleaning up the next couple of weekends, but they'll all be gone finally. And anyway, we will catch you next time. And you know what? If I get into St. Louis, I'm coming. I want to see some of those guitars in person. All right.
We got plenty to do here. We'll do a barbecue tour on top of that.
All right, there you go, man. Actually, my wife, she had a pizza bar restaurant. Her first husband was the goalie for the indoor soccer team when St. Louis had their team. I forget what they were called, but he was a goalie. He was on the Olympic team. But anyway, so she lived in St. Louis. She knows all about it, and she tells me all the stories and stuff. So, but anyway, when they had the indoor soccer team, this is probably 15, 20 years ago. But anyway, so that's kind of my little stint there. When you said St. Louis, I was like, oh, wow, Chris, I wonder where a pizza place was. But she was telling me all the war stories about making pizzas and this and that, and and Jamie being the goalie and blah blah blah. So anyway, everybody out there, have a great rest of the week. Stay safe out on those sites. Make sure you stay hydrated, and listen, have fun. We're almost the end of the year, and get ready for next year, because it's going to be a wild one. I can say that right now. So, Luke, look forward to meeting you in person. And
yes, sir.
Once again, we'll see you all next time on Commercial Construction Coffee Talk. Thank you so much for finding the time, Luke.
Thank you, guys.
All right. We'll see you later.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Bye.